Hello, ladies and mostly gentlemen. Welcome to YouTube. This is a website where people can upload videos, and this is one of those videos. My name's Josh, and this is a companion video to 3 reasons to do a cruise ship gig called 3 reasons not to do a cruise ship gig. So let's see what Christian Bale thinks about cruise ship gigs. That was my Christian Bale Batman voice. That's why I said Christian Bale. Not that good of an impression, though. I'm sure you guys can all do a much better one. 3 things that suck about working on cruise ships. Now, for those of you people who say I'm being a negative Nancy, let me just reiterate that I also have a video called 3 Reasons to Do a Cruise Ship, but like anything in life, almost anything in life, there are positive and negative aspects of it. So I just want to focus on the negative for a moment, just so you guys are hip to what it's like from my perspective anyway. The first thing that I think sucks about working on a cruise ship as a musician is just being an employee of a company. And I know a lot of people are going to say, you prissy little white boy, what are you complaining about? But I'm used to working for myself and being an independent contractor in legalese terms, just doing gigs and making agreements with people. Like, I'll show up at this time, we'll play this amount of music, you'll pay me this much money. And we're just 2 independent people just creating music and doing a service for people. And when you're an employee, it's this kind of weird relationship where you're like, I'm your employee and you're this huge company that doesn't care about me at all. And it's not as clean and legit and based on real human relationship. And there's just a lot that comes with it that's not cool. Like, just the hierarchy of an organization like this, like there's musicians, and then above you is your music manager, and then above him is the cruise director, and above him is the hotel general manager, and then there's the king of Princess Cruises, and then there's the king of Carnival Cruises because they own Princess. And it's like this huge artificial hierarchical structure that whereby a lot of people think that they're way better than you because they have stripy things on their little epaulets. But the reality is that everything has just become yellow on this exposure. Turn blue again. The beauty of eyesight cameras. People think that they're so cool because they get paid more than you and they have windows in their cabins or whatever, but the reality is that musicians are highly skilled, sensitive artists, and we should be respected. And in a company like this, they kind of just give you the minimum amount of respect that you need to not quit. I'm not saying that about everybody that I work with, but just as an organizational vibe, that's the vibe I get. Princess and other cruise companies are interested in their bottom line, not in, appreciating musicians for the artists that they are. So there's a lot of room for unpleasantness with the whole employee aspect of things, like if you're unlucky to have a band leader who has a ego trip and likes to act like he's better than people, which luckily I don't right now. Thank you, Chuck Curry, for being awesome. That can really suck because it just puts you in this weird hierarchical relationship where in real life you might just meet a dude who is a piano player and he's kind of an asshole and you just do a gig and that's fine. But then if he's your music manager here, then he gets to bark orders at you and doodly doodly do, and that's not cool. I'm not willing to tolerate that. I might be sort of young and whatever, but I'm not willing to be barked at, So having a boss and that kind of thing, I think, is a really lame thing to have to deal with as an artist. People will say, whiny artists, but most people who say that aren't artists, so you don't really know what you're talking about. And just think of where society would be without artists. So anyway, that's one thing that sucks, is being an employee. I don't like it, and I would like to do as little of it as possible in the future. And I'm sure some of you understand where I'm coming from. The second thing that sucks about cruise ship gigs is the health aspect in a number of ways. The main thing is just diet and nutrition. You just can't eat healthy on a cruise ship. Cruise ship culture has just not heard of healthy eating, and there's a very limited array of actually ripe edible fruit and vegetables that aren't totally coated in oil and butter and salt. And you just can't eat healthy here. And if you don't understand why that's important, then you might want to check out my other YouTube channel, Raw Food Freedom, and realize that nutrition is one of the primary things that affects how our physical body operates, which affects how we think and feel. So anyway, that's a big thing for me, and probably a big thing for some other people, but not others. And other than the diet aspect, just, you live in a little windowless room with filtered air, so you're not getting as much oxygen and negative ions as you would breathing more fresh air. And also, there's this really big culture of drinking alcohol every night, if not more often, and a lot of cigarette smoking. And if you struggle with resisting either of those things, this is not a healthy environment for you. Personally, I never got into alcohol or cigarettes, and at this point, even if I felt strongly tempted, I just wouldn't do it. So that's not like a big thing for me. But I know a number of people who are like trying to quit drinking or they want to quit smoking or whatever, and they just don't have the support to do that here, even though the company wants to support people in smoking less. There's just a ton of drinking and smoking that happens here. People spend like hundreds of dollars a month up in the crew bar, like just drinking, and it's crazy. All right, last thing for this video, the third thing that just really sucks about working on a cruise ship as a musician is the cramped quarters and not having your own room, having a roommate. It really sucks, and everybody hates it. It's not just me being whiny as I want to do, but it's the reason that I had to it's taken me a couple hours and attempts to actually shoot this short little video. Because my roommate also lives here too, and I can't just be shooting videos all the time. I probably would have made twice as many videos this contract if I'd had my own space. But maybe I'll make a video that's like a tour of the cabin. You can see how big it actually is, but it's very small. Like, here's the bathroom door I'm touching with my hand, and here's the beds I'm touching with my other hand. It's crappy. It's not the smallest cabins that are on the ship, but it's just not cool. I feel like most musicians, myself included, are sort of introverted and thoughtful types, and we really need a space to process our life experiences and to be creative and to just know that we can just think our thoughts and not have to worry about people bustling around. And it really sucks to have a roommate in such tight quarters. I'm not well suited to it, and everybody else complains about it too. Maybe I dislike it more than them, but it's really an issue. I think that cruise lines should give their musicians their own quarters because we're highly skilled employees. It takes like a decade to be a good musician, whereas you can learn how to, make a bed or even be a cruise director in a number of months at the most. Being a musician takes a lot, and I think we should be given more compensation. But anyway, just having the cramped quarters is just not cool. You don't have room for that much stuff. I've seen some of the female musicians on board, their cabins are just loaded with stuff because girls have more stuff than guys. But even without a bunch of stuff, it's just a small space, and it's just not happening. I got to make a video and show you guys how small it is, but I just, my thoughts are interrupted, and it's not even if you have a nice roommate, which I do. I like my roommate, and we have a decent relationship, but just being in such a tight space inevitably puts strain on that relationship, even with two people who like each other okay. Even if you find the girl or guy of your dreams, you don't immediately start living together in most cases, because you need to kind of get to know each other, and then when you do live together, it's like a big step, and does he put the cap on the toothpaste, blah blah blah. Well, it's like that, except you're just forced to do it with some other dude. It's really not cool. So I'd say that's one of the worst things about the gig. So the health thing, it's just, you just kind of, for me, being really interested in health and taking care of my body, I really just kind of have to grit my teeth and bear it. Is that the word? Grin and bear it. Grind my teeth, grin and bear it. The cramped quarters, I am just so ready to not be stuck in this little cave with this tiny bed and a roommate, and whatever the other thing I said, being an employee. Yeah, there's a lot of drawbacks to working on a cruise ship, but ultimately here I am, I'm doing it, and I don't know if this is the last time I'll do it. Last time I did a ship, I was like, never again, and then I'm here doing one, so I don't feel like never again. But there are a lot of drawbacks, but also, as I talked about in my other video, there's a lot of benefits, so you kind of just have to weigh it. And I really, I don't want to be doing this past age 30 at the oldest. There are guys who are much older than me doing this, and I don't want to. I feel like every year of my life I want to tolerate less BS, and there's a lot of BS on cruise ships, but such is life, such is the world we live in. So those are some things to consider, and thank you guys for watching. Peace out.